Hi there, and welcome back to the Phìllipe show, where I share the truths that you desire to live the life that you want, to have the experiences that you want, to have the memories that you reserve. So here's my favorite part. I love reading comments, so I sit up at night and I'll read your comments, I'll read them, I'll laugh, I'll reply to some, I feel warm inside, and here's one that really made me feel warm inside, and it came from Margaret. Margaret, you talk about micro wins. Yes, that they've been very key in your life, and that your mindset is so different for recognizing both in your personal life and your business life. That micro wins are best, and that literally now you see things are actually moving. Yes, so many times we set up a big goal and all you're looking at is the micro win, the big goal, and we don't see enough progress. Well, when you break down a micro goal into micro wins, you celebrate yourself more often, you celebrate yourself more frequently, and then you create fuel to keep going to get to that micro win. And then, my namesake, Philip. I love reading comments, Philip. You talk about harmony over balance. That right there came from my friend Ivan Meisen, and it was something that I was blessed enough to learn from a very wise friend of mine. Harmony over balance. Balance is a myth and harmony is a must. And there you said, Philip, that I will read things the way that I give my time to eat things in my life, starting today. When you begin to look at harmony, harmony is not having the same amount of time. You know, you think I should have as much time with my family as I have in my business. Well, in my world, impossible. However, if you laser on the time you have and you make that time matter more, Philip, that's what you're talking about. You make those 20 minutes matter more. You put down that cell phone, you watch that movie and stay present. You spend the time in the car talking and sharing. When you make that time matter more, then all of a sudden harmony becomes the must in your life and the thing that makes life feel delicious. Right now, so many times we have a tendency to feel like we don't deserve something better than what we have. And the reality is, everything that you've come through, everything that you've risen above, everything that you've climbed over, that gives you the right to the life that you were looking at. I just don't believe that we would have a vision in our heart and in our mind that we don't deserve. So oftentimes when you begin to question your worthiness, that's when you keep in score. You were saying, because I did this, because this happened, because I didn't do this, because I went through this relationship, because I didn't follow up with this, I don't deserve that. When in fact your past does not and have never ever equaled your future. Like, if you walk away with nothing else, I want you to say these words: my past does not equal my future. My past is a setup, so I believe that it's not in spite of my past that I get to be successful, that I get to have the life that I have, and I truly believe this for me. It's not in spite of my past that I get to be that life that I have, and it's because of my past. Like, who cares if everything was always wonderful, that you have a wonderful future? Because I think it's a delicious experience when things were in a little bit of chaos, or you have to go through something. You have to really decide who you are going to be, and then stand up and be that person, stand up and be that man, stand up and be that woman. Live that life, bring to you something you didn't even see, you didn't even know, you couldn't even imagine. Who's better for that experience than you? Who would be a better steward of having grace and compassion and abundance than you? Yes, you've made some mistakes. Yes, you've made some poor decisions. Yes, you stay stuck longer than you shouldn't stay stuck. Yes, you say yes when you should have said no. You said no when you shouldn't say yes. But also, you've made some brilliant decisions. You've got to make sure that you are keeping track, not a score. Also, you've been able to forgive at times what was seemingly unforgivable. What's also true is, you've been willing to love what at times could have been perceived being unlovable. You served and you've given, and you sacrifice, and you've shown up for others. You've turned a crawl into a walk, and now you want to turn a walk into a run, or you want to turn a run into a soar. Of course you. So what do? You surround yourself with the tribe like this. You don't just look at the education, you don't look at transformation, you jump in it. You understand, as John Boy says, that action say action. Action is the antidote for despair. So many times people are looking at and starting transformation and starting possibilities, but when you're in action, transformation has to occur. It's not a sideline. You can sit on the sideline of this conversation. This you gotta get on the field. So if you want to know how do you give yourself a second chance and then automatically give yourself 1,000 second chances, get in action. Get in action and allow the man, the woman that you are today to dissipate the worry or the wonder who you can become. Surround yourself, I'm giving you points on, make sure you write this down. Surround yourself with the tribe and the community full of movers. People who will hold you accountable to the man or the woman that you choose to become, not to who you've been. That's number 2. And number 3, get a group of people who will hold you accountable. And if you don't know where they are absolutely on my campus. They are absolutely on my tribe. You sign up for anything and I don't need to sell you. By the grace of God, we have programs moving all around the world while asleep. But what I do know is that if you jump into a programs, whether it be mine or someone else's, make sure you have an accountability community in there. Someone is going to say, hold on, this is who you said you wanted to be. Make sure that what you're doing is in alignment with what you believe and what you desire. So accountability is number 3. And the number 4, you have unwavering faith. You've got to know like I know. So that when it's dark, you can still see your own light. And when you're lonely, you still feel the presence of other people when you're alone. Like inside of that, you've got to become non-negotiable. And see, right now, it's been optional. I sort of want to do it, I really want to do it, and I know if I can do it. Move from optional to non-negotiable. Now listen, I gave you 5 things that you can do. But the number 1 thing is to be in action and stay connected. Because listen, you got here alone maybe, or you didn't get here alone. But what I do know is your best next season. You have to do it with the tribe. You have to do it with the community. And I don't know what better place than here with us. Now remember, this show is a lot of things, a little wild, a little deep, a little intense, a little crazy. But it's not a monologue. This show is a dialogue. And this is where you and I are in conversation. I always love to hear from you. Read your comments. Your comments matter to me and to my team. So I want to hear your comments below and I want to read them. I want to connect with you via comments. So leave them for me, leave them for us. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? What did you get it? What's the nugget that you say, oh, that's why you're turning, that's why I get this experience of the 10 minutes that I gave it because I needed to hear that? Or what made you say, oh yeah, that feels so good? Or even, how's Philip? Got light up a little bit. What was the thing? What was the thing that made you say, wait a minute, I need to stand the game, I need to get in the game, I need to go in deeper? What did it inspire you to do? Think about that a little bit. But I do want you to comment. I want you to comment below. And make sure to subscribe and look out for more amazing, and what I pray to you is amazing, meaningful, useful content, because that's what I'm bringing to you for. And listen, I want to make sure that I'm answering them and talking about the things that are valuable to you. So I want you to ask me 2 questions. 2 questions, whether it's around your finances, how to grow them, how to spend them, how to manage them, how to create multiple revenue streams, whether it's around your relationships, how to get in them, how to get out of them, how to make them feel better, you know, how to lovingly tell someone that this relationship isn't working the way it is, how to forgive. I want you to ask me questions about health. I'm not a health expert, but I'm someone who's transformed my health. So I'm gonna give you from a man's perspective who just needed to be his own rescue, right? Health, around spirituality. And in none of these areas of my say I am the expert. I really don't use that word a lot, and I don't use it ever in references to me, but I will say that I've studied a lot, I've learned a lot, I've lived long enough, as my grandmother says, and I've been a doubtful, beautiful student. And in some people's I've been a pretty decent teacher as well. And so you pose the questions, we're gonna gather them all, and over the next several episodes we're gonna answer your questions. I'm your brother's prosperity and impossibility, and I love that I get to say every time we come together that I believe in you and that I love you, because I do.